Back in the day, opening up Pokemon cards was simple. If you saw something holographic and shiny, you knew you'd just pulled a really good, really rare card. But these days things are a bit different. There's so many different rare cards you can pull. There's rainbow rares, there's alternate arts, full arts, gold cards, holographic rares. It gets confusing. How are you supposed to know if the card you've just pulled is about to pay off half your mortgage? Or if it's something that you might as well just be using as a drinks coaster? Today we're going to be going through my list of rare cards that you can pull from worst to best from sets that are currently out and circulating. It is a little bit trickier than it sounds though, because within each category, whether it be rainbow rares or gold cards, there are really good ones and there are some not so good ones, but we're going to have to go by the average and see where everything ends up. I will be separating a few groups, so if we use rainbow rares as an example, I'm going to be splitting up rainbow rare full art trainers and rainbow rare Pokemon cards, just to show a bit of a point of difference. Alright, moving into last place or 13th place on my list. Barely worth mentioning are the non-holo rares. Waste of space, waste of paper, shouldn't have sacrificed a tree to put these together, better off in the recycling bin, not going to mention them any further. Next up, 12th place, we've got holographic rares. It's a real shame to put them this far down the list, but that's what happens, the cards have evolved. Back in the day, the holos were the only rares, and I still love some of those Wizards of the Coast classic holos, but these days they're pretty rubbish. Next up, we have V cards. They're technically ultra rares, but they're only minorly better than holos, and sometimes not even. To be honest, I'm generally not very excited when I pull a V card, and there's not much more to say about that. In at 10th place, we have VMAX cards. Now, these I'm on the fence about. Some of them are quite good. You've got like Umbreon and Rayquaza and things like that. You're pretty happy to pull those sort of cards. But then on the flip side, there's some real trash out there. Yeah, meh. Now we're moving on to what I consider the good stuff. So generally from here on out, any version of any of these cards is a good pull. And in at 9th place, I've got full art Pokemon cards. Some may put this a bit higher. Personally, I think there's some better options, but full arts are very nice. Love pulling a full art. Generally, you get about 2 in a booster box, which is a good result. Always happy to see a full art Pokemon card. Just edging out the full art Pokemon cards, I've got full art trainer cards. Now, some people love them, some people hate them. I quite like them. I think they're unique, and they show something a little bit different to just being stuck with Pokemon 24/7. There's some really, really nice ones out there. To quickly mention a few that I really like, there's Cheryl, Caitlin, even Clara, and even some of the nothing trainers like the Doctor card. It's just really nice, and I'm always happy to see a full art trainer out of the pack. In at number 7, we've got the first of the secret rares, and this is going to be a bit controversial, but I've got the gold trainer cards. I personally frigging hate these things. They are just so disappointing. You see the gold, you think, oh, I'm on here, and all it brings is disappointment. I don't care who you are, like, why do you want a gold welcoming lantern or a fan? Like, if I wanted a boost shake, I'd go down the street to Boost and literally just buy a boost shake. I don't want to pull one out of a Pokemon card pack. That's not what I'm here for. Similar vein, very, very slightly better than the trainer gold cards. Another secret rare is the gold energy cards. I can see the appeal with these at least. The energy cards have been around since the start. They're sparkly, they're gold, they look kind of nice, but it's still disappointing. Like, why couldn't it have just been a Pokemon? I've used up my freakish odds, 1 in 100 plus chance of pulling a gold card and get stuck with a bloody energy. In at number 5, and this is where things get really, really good, I've got the rainbow rare, secret rare Pokemon cards, and in this generation they're generally VMAXs. There's some absolute crackers in these. A couple of my favourites, Mew, Pikachu. Never seen either of those in the flesh, but they just look that good. In saying that, there's a few not so desirable ones, like you could be stuck with a Greedent, a Sandaconda, things like that, but overall, generally, you see that rainbow come through and it's usually shows you something good. I personally just really like the look and the shine of these cards. I think they're just so nice. I know this is going to be controversial, but at number 4, I've got the other sort of rainbow rares, the full art trainer rainbows. I just think generally you've got a better chance of getting a really nice, really good looking card. You cannot tell me that the rainbow rare Aroma Lady doesn't absolutely shit on Duraludon VMAX rainbow rare. Like, pick any 2 rainbow rare cards, and I would say more often than not, the trainer's going to outdo the Pokemon. It's not always the case. I mean, clearly Rayquaza VMAX Rainbow Rare is going to be pretty hard to beat, but you've got the same odds of pulling a Garbodor, so take it or leave it. I personally only ever pulled one of these, and I just love it. It happens to just be the Doctor I mentioned earlier, but even that card looks sleek. I mean, pretty much anything except for Agatha you're going to be stoked with, so for me, top 4 for sure is the Rainbow Rare trainer cards. In at number 3, we're through the last of the gold cards, and it's the gold Pokemon cards. I think generally these are a bit harder to find. There's usually only a couple or 2 or 3 in each set, and generally they pick reasonably popular Pokemon, like Snorlax, for example, absolute beast. Houndoom, Cresselia, all really nice cards. I think overall I kind of like the look of the Rainbow Rares better, but just from a rarity point of view, I think in general most people are going to be more impressed with the gold Pokemon cards. For me, it was a close contest, but I think just from that difficulty aspect, it edges out the Rainbow Rares. If you've seen any of my other videos, it's probably no secret what are the last 2 remaining. In at number 2, just missing out on the top spot, I've got the alternate art V cards. These aren't even a secret rare, and yet they're well above gold Rainbow Rare cards. There's hardly a bad one of these at all. Like, the worst couple that I can think of still absolutely destroy the gold Pokemon cards. Think of some of the amazing options you can get. Rayquaza V alternate art, Dragonite V alternate art, Celebi. Even my boy Greedent comes up with the goods with the alternate art cards. Even some of the more underrated ones like Tornadus or Blissey, it still just looks so nice. There's not a single alternate art V card that I'd be disappointed to pull. In at number 1, no surprise, alternate art VMAX cards. These things are just so rare and so hard to pull, and the artworks are generally amazing. I know I've made a whole video of the worst alternate art cards, but they're the worst of the best. They're all so good. There's almost not a single one of these that doesn't ruin every other card below it. I've personally only ever pulled the one, Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, and it just blew me away. The artwork is insane. Some of my favorites, Espeon, Umbreon, any of the Ons. I'll take any single one of these except for Duraludon, because he's just trash. But overall, I really like the way the Pokemon Company is going with all of these different sorts of rares. It makes it impossible to ever finish a set, but there's some awesome cards out there to collect. I'd love to hear what you guys think is the best sort of rare card to pull. Let me know in the comments, but for me, this is my list. Thanks again for watching. See you later.